Demetrius.
Dr. Rebecca Smith.
Yes, hey, today we are going to give you guys some glute tips on just building these glutes back here. There's a lot of things and a lot of different variations that can go into this today. Today I'm just going to give you the five things you need to have when building your glutes or in a lower body day. And then here, Dr. Smith, she's going to tell us about why the glutes are important and what they do for you.
All right, so there's three major muscles that contribute to the glutes. There's the glute max, which is the nice bouncy part in the back.
Yeah.
Then you have two muscles on the side, the glute med and the glute min, and those help with, the glute max helps with hip extension, so getting that hip behind you, and the glute med and min help with stabilizing the pelvis from a side to side standpoint. So both directions are very important. So we're gonna work all three of those muscles today.
Yes, cool. So when building the glutes, okay, there's five just movement patterns that you guys need to have either in your programming or just in your lower body workout. If you're doing a split, right, you can split these up, or if you have one full body day, just make sure you guys have these in. So the first one is going to be a squat. Okay, you want to have a squat in there. Now the second one is going to be some type of bridge. Okay, whether that's single leg, double leg, elevated. Okay, the third one is going to be some type of hinge, right? You have your lunge is going to be the fourth one. Okay. And then your abductors, okay, is going to be the last one. So those are just the five different patterns you want to have in your programming while building onto your glutes. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you within those five different variations, okay, of those five different patterns. I'm going to show you a couple of different variations that we can go over with today. Now, there's a tons,
yes,
right, of different ways you can do this. These are just some of the simplest forms that you can implement now, and then get some more input from Dr. Smith after we get done. Okay, now the first one, you guys always commonly see this one, right? We're gonna go over the goblet squat, okay? So to really engage this one, right, either we wanna be at parallel or a little bit below 90. So Dr. Smith, she's gonna do about 4 to 5 reps on each one, okay? Boom, when she's parallel or a little bit below 90, right, that's when you're really maximizing, okay, using those glutes down at the bottom. Perfect form. You can tell she can lift a little bit, right? Now, moving on, okay, towards the second one, okay, the bridge. So I'll have you just lay on this mat. Okay, we're gonna do a single leg bridge. Now, you're not gonna get as much hip extension like you would on a double leg, but this is really, okay, maximizing and really getting to the point of that glute, okay? And this is working what head of the glute?
This is going to be working the glute max, so the hip extenders, but it's also working the glute med and min, because if I don't control here, then I have a little bit of a pelvic drop. So you're really kind of getting the glutes in all three different directions here.
There we go. Okay, now when you're doing this, make sure you work both sides, right? So you can be equal on both sides, and you can also do this double leg as well too. Now, just for this third one, we're gonna move back over to the hinge, okay? Hinge is some form of deadlift, okay? Now today, we're gonna do a sumo deadlift. So our toes are gonna be pointed out just slightly, okay? Hinging back, okay? Letting that kettlebell touch the ground and coming back up. Boom, nice. There we go. Got a little hair flip there. Perfect for it. Now try to touch the ground all the way to the ground. There we go. Bang. Boom. Really engage. And this is working what part of the glute? Kind of the same?
Yep, hip extensors.
Okay. All right. So make sure you guys know what parts of the glute you guys are working with. Okay. Now moving on, lunge, right? There's tons of different lunge variation, but the one we're going to do today is it's more so going to be a hip dominant one. We're going to do a reverse lunge, right? Now, usually when we're doing that, okay, in this instance, right, I want you to be more so in that quad, bang, reaching back, and then coming back up. Boom, nice. Really maximizing. You see how Dr. Smith, she's really using each movement nice and controlled. She's controlling the movement, right, even with no weight in her hand or on her body, but she's always in control of the movement to really maximize what she's doing, okay? And this is working again, which part of the glute kind of?
This is going to be more the glute max and the hip extension.
Okay, okay, perfect. Now the last one, okay, just the abductor. So now usually you guys see these around a lot. You can use either the bands or the cloth ones, the hip, more so for the hip, but for today's purpose, okay, we're gonna have you just tie that around both your ankles, okay, right above your knees. A lot of different variations of this, okay? Today we're just gonna do just the lateral walk, okay? Sorry, above your knees. I think I might have said ankles, my bad. There you go. So we're just gonna take, okay, 2 steps one way, boom, staying in that squat position, okay, and coming 2 steps back toward me, okay? So really having that emphasis on, right, again, being in control of the movement. See how she's still keeping that athletic base as she's going, and this is working what part?
So this is going to be the side of the glutes, so the glute med and the glute min, so for that pelvic stability versus hip extension.
And now, why is it so important to kind of know just what parts you're working just in a training program or just on a daily basis?
Yeah, well, there are 3 planes of movement. You have the frontal, transverse, and sagittal. And if you're only working one plane of movement, you're not going to have that full functional athletic ability. So the pelvis, it can rotate, it can extend, and it can go side to side. So you want to make sure that you're training it in all different directions. So the side to side is going to be those glute med and min to work on that pelvic control. The front and back is going to be the glute max with that hip extension. And then you have the hip external rotators, which will help with that rotational control as well. So it's nice to have all 3 really well maintained, nice and strong. If you're only targeting one, I have athletes who come in and they have a lot of glute max activation, but they can't stand on one leg without dropping. So they have no glute med and glute min control. So you really want to have control in all 3 of those planes.
Yeah, so again, working all sides, all ways, okay, and making sure you're just not maximizing one. Because if you're just focused on one side, right, another area is going to suffer, and you're going to be kind of off tier and just not stable in just different ways. And so again, okay, when you're working the glute, right, there's five patterns you want to work, okay? The squat, right, the hinge, the lunge, okay? You want to work also the abductor, okay? And then the last one is the bridge, okay? The bridge. Now, again, all sorts of different variations to make sure you're in control, okay, of the movement, right? And also too, just make sure you're switching it up within your program and going from there. And lastly, why is it just important that you work on the glutes, and what does it help all around?
Yeah, so I like to think of the pelvis as kind of like the steering wheel of the bus. If you don't have control here, you're going to have less control above and below. So if you really want to have that good athletic performance, if even not athletic, if you want to be able to lift, squat, push, pull, just everyday movement activities, if you don't have the control at your pelvis, everything else is going to be off a little bit. So you really want to have nice, strong glutes.
So it's good that I should work my glutes every day, correct?
Yeah, and you also want to look good in a bathing suit, right? You want to be able to in there.
Hey, I like good buns
juicy dump
too.
truck,
I
right?
like good buns too. Hey, all right, you guys. Hey, I'm Coach Demetrius.
Rebecca Smith.
Okay, hey, again, those are the 5 just patterns of the glute building, and make sure you implement those into your workout, okay, so you guys can keep building nice, strong, plump glutes. All right.
Have a good day.